Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Oh. I made bone broth. I collected bones from the chicken, the leg of lamb, steak bones, whatever bones I could find in the house, as well as asked the butcher for bones. And what I did was I pressure cooked them, not in the can. I'm talking about a pressure cooker. Now in the pressure cooker I put the bones and I filled it up as high as I could with water. And I cooked it for 2 hours. Then I turned it off because I had to go out. Other than that, I would have checked it. If you're home, you can sit there and check it after 2 hours and see how the bones are. If you can't break them with your hands, then you have to do it longer. So the next day, because I didn't have time that day, is I cooked it for another 3 hours. And I also filled the water back up so I could see where the water level is. These are the legs of the lamb. These are the bones of the beef. You know how much minerals I've cooked out of these bones? And I've got it all sitting in this broth. Now, minerals are what your bones need to be strong, okay? And they also put the gristle, I almost forgot it. The gristle is made up, that's between the joints where your joints can move, is also made up with these lovely minerals. So I collect these bones and I sit there and I pressure cook them actually about 5 hours in total. But you do have to check it after 2 hours because a lot of the water will evaporate and you have to fill the water back up. And after another 2 hours you do it again and check it. So I've got a lot of minerals in this. Let me see, I'll pull it down further so you can see it and you'll see what I'm doing. So today I'm going to be canning it. You see? Now it has fat and stuff on it. Now I'm not concerned about that because I know the body needs fat as well. If you don't have fat, you can't absorb vitamin A, D, E, K, you know. Need I go further? All right, so I'm going to strain this. You're going to see my dishes and stuff. Just ignore that. What I've done in the sink here is I have, I don't know if you can see it. I have a bowl down here. I have my strainer that fits into this. My husband got this from a place that sells cooking equipment. So he got me a good strainer. Now I'm going to pour all this in because we want to strain this. Now it's going to have good flavor. It's not going to taste like bones because there was some meat on the bones as well. But look at all those minerals. Now to get the gelatin, I want to buy pig's feet, and I want to cook them like this too. Cook them until there's nothing left of them. That's my philosophy, and then I know I've got all that gelatin that I can add. I can add some bone broth. I can sit there and add the gelatin with the stock, and you put it in your rice, your gravies, whatever you want to put it in, soups and stuff. Cook your pasta in it. Can you imagine? And by the way, minerals are a natural tranquilizer. Most people don't know that. They are a natural tranquilizer. All these bones will break down very, very easily. I just have to finish straining this and I'll be right there. You can see what I'm doing. I'll bring you back around. Hold on a minute. I want to get the rest of this liquid out. See, I have little particles in the towel here. This is why. The bones are just falling apart in my hands. So you can imagine how rich that is. I didn't add any salt to it. I didn't do anything. I just used water and just cooked these down until I got them cooked where I wanted them. Okay, hold on. Put my pot back over here. I've got a chicken I've got to cook now. When I get this canned, I've got a whole chicken because they won't sell me chicken backs. I have to buy the whole bloody chicken. So I'm going to sit there and cook that chicken down, and I'm going to make chicken stock. Because one of the recipes I told you about, we need chicken stock, and I'm not going to buy it from the store. They dilute it and everything else. If I'm going to dilute it, I'll dilute it my way. I'm just going to clean my towel out. So if you don't like arthritis, as I say, if you don't like arthritis, you know, you got to take care of those joints and the gristle and all, and they need those minerals. What you get in vitamins does diddly squat, as they say in Texas, diddly squat. If you want it, you're gonna have to go through these stages. I'll be right back. I have to do something. Okay, I had to do my dishes. I had too many dishes. All right, I'm gonna pour this into a pot. I've got my pressure cooker with water in it, and it's on a burner heating up. I washed the jars and the lids and the rims, and I'm gonna pour this into a clean pot. And we're going to heat this up. You can actually see what I'm doing. See, I've got everything heating up right now. Set my oven. Wait a minute, let me get the jars in first. Okay. Oh, the boiler pan here. You should know, I leave it in there all the time. I'm doing pint jars. Set your oven at 220 because that's boiling point, because this is going to be boiling and this is going to be boiling, and you can't put hot things in a cold jar, so we got to bring these jars up to the same temperature. And 20 or 30 minutes there will be fine. I'm still drying the lids and the rims. So there's an old phrase. You say, why am I so passionate about cooking? Well, there's a rule about men. Okay, young ladies, if you want to get to a man's heart, the only way through it is through his stomach. You have to know how to cook. That will, as they say, the intimacy of sex, I'll use the word intimacy for it, only lasts for so long. But his health, his vitality, his children's beauty and personalities all depend upon what goes on in that kitchen. Believe it or not. Matter of fact, I've got some books that I've been studying, and they're herbal books on what the herbs do for the body. Like, people don't know that white clover blossom, white clover, actually prevents cancer chains, because cancer grows in a chain. It prevents that from happening. So I've learned a few things, not a lot. I've just gotten into it, and so I'm not real knowledgeable on it, but I'm learning about it, and I am surprised. So I made white clover jelly, and I make it with tea because I dehydrate the flowers, and I make tea as well. I cook the flowers down when they're fresh, and I make jelly out of them, so I make sure it's around the house so that we use it. So it seems like a lot of things that we call weeds and stuff is actually food for us. We just have to know which are poisonous and which ones are medicines that we can take. So I've got a book coming in that's going to give me more in-depth on it. So you take control of your family through that kitchen. When your husband sees and feels his health and his vitality, and sees the health of his children and all, and how happy they are, and he looks at you and you're strong and you're content, and there's a peace about you, believe you me, he will not want to wander anywhere else but back, and always to you. He'll go to work, but his little eyes will wander right back to you, and he'll be home to you. So that's what I was taught by the old people. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So if you can't cook, you're in deep trouble. And if you use instant food and he sees his children and they don't look as beautiful as they should, or they're cranky and irritable, and she's angry and irritable, and he doesn't feel up, he's going to have to look at you, because that's where the energy comes from. And a lot of arguing is usually because people are shorting out, because they're tired. But why are they tired? They should have the vigorousness of life, the vitality. What's that word? You know, sometimes I can't say words. I don't know why. I just can't get them out of my mouth. But we don't have it. We don't have the peace and the tranquility, because the foods are missing so many nutrients that we need, that the bodies are shorting out, and there's a lot of argument, there's a lot of divorce, there's a lot of just everything going on. Rebellion and everything else. This is not normal. And we've got so many people with mental issues because of this. So if you want to get the minerals into the body, you have to collect these bones. And you're going to have to pressure cook them, like I said. Break it down, add it to your soups, to your gravies, wherever you can add it in. You don't have to pour a whole jar in. Believe me, I only did that one time, and that was because I want to see my football game. But you know, you can add a couple of tablespoons, up to 1/4 of a cup. I put it in my rice, my pasta, my gravies and stuff. I couldn't show you all this stuff at once that I do, but as I go through it, I'll be adding more and more and more, and we're building up on this to where when you have a meal, your family's not going to eat a ton of food. The food is going to be so rich and they're going to be so content, the helpings will be smaller, and you'll notice it's not that they don't like the food, it's just that the food has everything that they need. And people who want to get a good night's rest, drinking, if you drink, it's going to shoot your sugar up, so you're not going to go into the REM and get that deep sleep that you need. Liquor is all sugar. I don't care if it's hard liquor, beer, whatever you want to call it, it's sugar, and it's going to cause you not to sleep into that REM, and then you're going to short out more. Minerals are a natural tranquilizer. There's not much arguing that goes on in my home. They might be a little terse with their words, but there's no real screaming or yelling, because I keep these minerals and vitamins and stuff in the food, so when they eat, they can deal with the stress of life. And life is stressful. It wasn't that way before. The man grew the food, built the furniture, she fed the family, cared for the children and all, and it was more of a unity in the family, and it was more peaceful. But because there's so many of us on this earth, and people are shorting out, and this is a real issue, so we need nutrition more than ever. I've got some more, believe you me, I've got a ton of dishes. I've still got to get my mustard going. I haven't even started that, and I told you I was going to do that last week, and I didn't even get to it. So, and I'm trying a European bread. It didn't work last time. If it works this time, I'll show you how to do it. I'm watching it too, because it gave me problems because the instructions weren't quite right, which I told you about. So I will be back. We've got the jars sitting, we've got everything heating up, and I've got to get the rest of the stuff together. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. I've got the bone broth boiling. Jesus Christ, that's rising. This bread, I might have to interrupt everything. Let's get the jars out. I'm going to have to move quickly. I don't know how many jars I'm going to use, but I did 7 just in case. And it's raining on top of everything else. Which is nice. And so I have everything around you right now. So I told you how I did the broth. Now I'm just going to show you how I can it. And that's it. And we'll get it pressure cooked. I'm going to use a measuring cup. It's so much easier. Is there some fat in it? Of course there is, but I don't worry about the fat. Now, you saw me break the bones after I pressure cooked them. Remember, I'm only 71. Okay, let me get my 1 inch, my measuring stick, and we'll see. 1 inch is the headspace I would give this. I don't know how it's going to boil. Okay, let's pour this into the measuring cup so I can do what I have to do. Any extra that you have, you can just put in the refrigerator. If you don't have enough for the whole jar, and start using it. Now this will not gel up because this doesn't have a lot of gel in it, but it has the minerals in it. So one will not be canned. I have six pints and a little more. Oh! Yes, it's hot. Okay, debubble this. Though it's liquid, still debubble. Do not miss this step, though you'll sit there saying, I really don't have to. Yes, you really have to. You want to do, okay. Sometimes I'm talking and these messages come up, you know. Get sidetracked. So don't think those bones are hard once I pressure cook them. I'm 71 and if I can break them, that tells you what a good job I've done. Because you know those rib bones and leg bones are not easy to break. So you have to cook all that down and spill it into that water you're cooking it in. Right now, on my slow cooker, I just put a whole chicken on because I need chicken stock. And instead of cutting up the celery and the carrots, I just scrubbed them and cracked them, threw them in there with some onion and peppercorns. And I said, well, that'll be my chicken stock. I got to get it done. I'm going to have to get veal bones and stuff, and I'm going to have to start cooking them down. Oh, God. It's always crazy at this time of the year. The extra vinegar you have, pour into your canner. It'll keep your jars clean. I'm going to move it over to a front burner so I can function better. Now, I'm going to pressure can these 30 minutes. And for all of you who know about canning, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, we have to build the pressure up after we seal it all up. So we can sit there and cook it. Your PSIs, I explained it in the last video. You can go back. Canning, oh, what was it that I was just canning recently? Oh, pear jam, I explain it there. Not pear jam, no, what was it that I did? Stock. Anyway. Oh, come on, don't get nasty with me on this. why you don't have to show it. So let's go through the stages again. There's a bubble on the lid. Do not push it down. That will tell you if the jar is sealed or not. I have an All-American, so mine's a little different than yours. Unless you get an All-American, do read the instructions. It's very important that you read the instructions. With mine, it tells me how much water to put in. It also tells me how to read it and all. So you have to get yours and do it your way, the way they state you have to do it. Now, because I have a beveled edge and I don't have a gasket, I use Vaseline on mine to make it easy. It's not going into the food. It's just to seal, make a seal in this thing. Because other than that, the metal will actually melt to each other. I won't be able to get the lid off. But the gasket, if you have a gasket, you have to oil it with any kind of cooking oil that you have. My pressure cooker has a gasket, and I have to take one of my oils and rub it down every third time I use it. Okay. I'm gonna have to move you so you can see what I'm doing. Now, I am going to have to also grease the edge of this. Let me get a paper towel that's really hot. This is why I use Vaseline, because I know it's not getting into the food. If you have a gasket in your water bath, I would definitely say use oil. Okay. Okay, we'll get this lid on now. Where's the point? Oh man, in the back. Okay, I'll turn this around. This whole thing is hot, believe it or not. See, you have a dent here, you have to match the arrow up to it if you have the All-American. Where is the arrow? Now what you try to do, as I say try, is line this up equal distance so it seals. It feels like it is. This one does not. Well, I don't know. I think I do. Okay. Now you put them on loose, you can tighten them up opposite each other. Turn it on high. Now, there's a vent on it. We're going to let it vent 10 minutes before we put the weight on it. You have to check your PSIs, pounds per square inch, for your area. already shown some videos, so I'm not going through every little ABC step on this. So I am going to let that get up there, vent it 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put the weight on it. And you're going to pressure can this for 25 minutes. And that's all. You turn everything off, and as it comes down, you'll set it out on a towel and let it sit overnight. But that's it. I'll be back when I'm taking them out of the jar. I'm taking the jars out. Okay, they're done. We're going to get them out now, and you can see them as they come out. Here they are. Open. Isn't that interesting? And that's how you make bone broth. Take care and have a great day.